Welcome everyone. Welcome, hello, and welcome to this Sunday special lecture by Hinaji Bora. This is the second in the series of the lecture that we started last week, and the topic is Samayik-path. So, uh, so Hinaji will be taking it forward. And Hinaji, there's no hurry. If you would like to take more time, we might have time next week as well. So please take your time and please start with that.
Okay. Thank you, Subhamji. Vitrak Prabhuna Charnoma Namaskar. Namo Arihantanam Namo 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 Sithanam Namo 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 Ariyanam Namo 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 Uvachayanam Namo 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 Loe Savasahunam Namo Loe Savasahunam Eso Panjanamokaro Sava Pavapanasano Mangalanancha Savesing Padamam Havai Mangalam Padamam Havai Mangalam. Good morning, Om Aram, Jai Jinendra, dear sisters and brothers. With deep gratitude, I thank JVP London and our revered Pujya Samniji for giving me the precious opportunity to speak in their absence. I am deeply aware that my knowledge is but a drop compared to their ocean of wisdom, but with utmost sincerity and devotion, I will try my best to share whatever little I can. So before we begin, we will do a very short meditation, and I request you all, please gently close your eyes and put your hands together in prayer posture. Thank you. Now bring your awareness to your inner self, the soul, the Atma, pure, eternal, full of light. Visualize a divine flame growing within you, calm, steady, bright. This is your true self, untouched by sorrow, beyond all attachments. Now slowly bring to your mind the image of our Tirthankar Bhagwan, a soul who has conquered inner enemies, who radiates boundless space, detachment, and compassion. Let your heart be filled with deep devotion. Now silently just keep chanting Namo Arihantanam. He is right in front of you. You have the same soul as he has, just that ours is covered with karmic particles. And you want to get there. just remain in silence for a few seconds. Now slowly bring your awareness back. Gently move your fingers, and when you are ready, open your eyes with a smile and a heart full of reverence to our Tirthankar Bhagwan. Thank you, everybody. Now, as you know, we started this topic last week and trying to explain this Bhav Pratikraman, which is written by Acharya Ji Amit Gati Ji, and it is also called Dvatrishanka, and that means 32 stanzas are written about the Samayik. Now, before I go into it, this is so beautifully written that if we study each and every stanza, it prepares us and it prepares us for the true Samayik. And that is why I have taken this topic, which is very dear to my heart. So let's begin. As we did total 11 stanzas last week, I will quickly go over them and then we will move on to the next one. Okay, so the first stanza talked about the four bhavnas that we should be having. And the first one is friendship towards all living being, appreciation, pramod to scholarly beings, compassion, karuna, distressed being, and neutrality, madhyasthata to impious beings. So this was our first stanza, and the second one is soul. It's talking about soul, which is he is telling that full of infinite powers, pure, innocent, no passions, completely free from defect. And the third one, he is talking about equanimity, that maintaining a sense of calm and composure in any situation, absence of I and my in all worldly affairs. The fourth one, he talks about this is his prayer. His prayer is, may your reflection be throughout my life, just as the crystal reflects and the nail in the wall. Now, I talked about it at length last week, and it is so beautiful. But imagine this Acharyaji, who is at such a high level, and he is still praying like this. So I'm sure that it is so worthwhile to understand. And then he talks about the fifth one, that besides the 5 great vows for ascetic and 12 vows for lay people, Jainism lays a great emphasis on the observance of 5 rules, that is Samiti, and 3, that is Guptis, which we all can practice in our day-to-day life. Then he talks about 4 passions that we can get rid of, that Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobhs, which is anger, ego, deceit, and greed. And that we collect through our 5 senses. Then he talks about the when we do that anger and all that, then we bind so many karmas and how to get rid of them. So then by alochana, ninda, and garha, that is the way we can get rid of them. And then reasons for tarnishing the purity of the soul, which are the reasons, that is deceitful nature, laxity in vows, committing atikram, Vyatikram, Atichar, and Anachar, which I did go through last week, so we won't go into it. And then again, next stanza is about the same, but detailed explanation of all those. Then he talks about, and to the 10th one, normal Samayik. At the end, we ask for forgiveness. 10 folds of mind, 10 folds of speech, and 12 folds of body. That also we talked about. And then we talked about Saraswati, that is here he is treating Jinwani as Saraswati Mata. So what is he saying? That Jinwani is Chintamani, Mangalmayi, Sharda. He is asking for, and from that, by learning that, he is asking for Kevagyan, Sambodhi, Parinam Suddhi, realizing the soul, and salvation. So now we are going to start from the 12th stanza today, which is the 12 to 17 are beautiful stanzas, and is all about Devadi Dev stuti. So he is doing this stuti to our Tirthankar Bhagwan, and it is so beautifully written, all of them. So we will take them one by one. So the first one, he is saying, I will just read what is written in Sanskrit and then I will explain. So then in 12th, because this is stuti, remember 12 to 17, the fourth line is always the same. And I will explain you the meaning of that fourth line first. So the first is number 12. It says, Yaha smaryate sarvamunindra vrunderyayaha stuyate sarvanara marendreha yogiyate vedapurana sastrehe Sadeva Devo Hridaye Mamastam. So all stanzas are saying Sadeva Devo Hridaye Mamastam. O Devadidev, please reside in my heart. Now why? Why does he want to say that? And then in first three lines he explains all the virtues of our Devadidev. So it is beautifully written. And although this is from the Vyavahar point of view, we need to, as I said in my meditation, that we need to visualize this. Once we visualize, then only we can think of those virtues, and we can, like Bhakta can become Bhagwan. This is the way. So that is why first he is talking about all the virtues. And so from this Vyavahar point of view, when we want to move it to Nishay point of view, when we want to become Bhagwan, this is very, very important. And it's all about how perfect and beautiful our Arihant Dev is. And therefore, Acharya Ji is requesting every time after praising him that, O Devadi Dev, please reside in my heart. So here in this stanza, he is saying, with such devotion, the Supreme God, who is filled with infinite qualities, is worshipped by Narayan, Pratinarayan, Sudharmendra, Ahamindra, and whose qualities have been praised by great teachers and sages in many famous scriptures, such as the Vedas, Purans, etc. I enthrone him on the throne of my heart with great love, so that all my sins are destroyed. I attain Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, and Samyak Charitra, and attain salvation quickly. Why? So as I said, our Lord, is praised by everyone, and all the scriptures have praised him as well, as you understand. So by doing this, what are we going to achieve? So all the faults are destroyed, and the three jewels that we are going to attain, as we always say, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Charitra, as as I said already, that because Lord has these, we are praying to have the same qualities in us. And this is how we picture him in front of us. And then the next stanza, again, the fourth is the same. He is saying, यो दर्शन ज्ञान सुख स्वभावः समस्त संसार विकार बाह्यः समाधिगम्यः परमात्म संज्ञः सदैव देवो हृदये ममास्ताम्. So here what he is saying, that let the omniscient knower of the self and the whole cosmos be deprived of all the ills, remain before me as my lighthouse tower to guide me in my pursuit of the self. So when the mind becomes calm and serene during meditation, one sees the divine in one's own heart temple, which is one's own power. Again, the same thing has been talked about. If any of you know Atma Siddhi Shastra, which is a beautiful Shastra, Gatha number 135 again says that all souls are capable of becoming like liberated souls if they receive the proper guidance, understanding, and supporting causes. So, what's supporting causes? Our Tirthankar Bhagwan. So, and again, so many in our Shastras, so many places, this has been mentioned that we all have the same soul as our Tirthankar Bhagwan. All we need to do is we need to realize that. So when true knowledge, right faith, and pure conduct unite in life, one begins to realize the true nature of the soul. For this, we must gain a proper understanding of the fundamental truth, such as soul and non-soul, from the enlightened ones. Through study and reflection, true faith develops, and with right knowledge and faith, sinful tendencies gradually decrease, while true detachment arises. Then the inner vision of the soul awakens. When the mind becomes peaceful and pure, the soul experiences the divine within its own heart and realizes that it is truly independent by its own nature. So this is the process that Acharya Shri is going through at the moment to realize his own soul. And that is why he's keeping Tirthankar Bhagwan in front of him and he's saying that I wish I have all the same virtues as you have. Now we will move on to the next one, which is Nishudate yo bhavadukha jalam nirikshate यो जगदन्तरालं योऽन्तर्गतो योगी निरीक्षणयः सदैव देवो हृदये ममास्ताम्. So here what he is talking about, this is very much similar to the 7th slok of Bhaktamar that we always say in the morning. So I will not repeat that. As you all know, the 7th slok is very much similar. Just as the single ray of sunshine destroys the darkness of millions of years, similarly, the grace of God destroys the mountain of sins from our previous innumerable lives. So just as when heat comes near a metal vessel, the vessel itself becomes hot. Similarly, when the soul's attention and awareness remain connected with divine contemplation, the soul gradually becomes like the divine. When a spiritual seeker lovingly remembers the qualities of enlightened Lord or the Sadguru, they begin to imbibe those very qualities within themselves. According to this principle, the seeker prays that the Lord may reside with the temple, within the temple of their heart. So Acharya Ji is saying that stay in my heart. Yeah. So the next one is number 15, says विमुक्ति मार्ग प्रतिपादको यो जन्म मृत्यु व्यसनाद् व्यतीतः त्रिलोकलोकी विकलो कलंक सदैव devo hridaye mamastam. So what is he saying here? The seeker prays that the Supreme Soul may reside within their heart and describes the glory of the liberated Siddha Bhagwan, who is free from the suffering of birth and death. The Siddha Paramatma has completely attained the highest spiritual state and is forever liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Worldly beings continuously suffer from mental, physical, external afflictions, and as well as the pain of death and birth, old age, and everything. So, birth, old age, death are the root causes of suffering, and attachment and aversion are their causes. The Siddha Bhagwans are forever free from this suffering and remain in our eternal bliss. Now, the bestowers of the path of liberation, the Supreme Lord, possess three main qualities, as you all know: omniscience, complete detachment, and compassionate guidance. Through these divine qualities, they show all worthy souls the path of liberation. And I bow down to those who show the path of liberation. Please destroy karmas and know the truth of the universe. So by the destruction of all karmas, the Lord becomes radiant with infinite qualities. Obviously, he is even brighter than the sun, and he is a possessor of all the divine virtues. So that is why he is saying that please stay in my heart. Then we move on to the next one. So here it says, Krodi Kruta Sesh Sarir Varga Ragadayo Yashya Nasanti Doshaha Nirindriyo Gnanamayo Napayaha Sadeva Devo Hridaye Mamastam. So here what is trying to say, the Lord's divine omniscience is infinite, unobstructed, and eternal. The enlightened ones simultaneously know all substances of the universe along with their past, present, and future states without any effort. In other words, everything exists clearly within their knowledge. Such a form of omniscience can truly be understood only through the inner faith and realization of spiritually awakened souls. Therefore, in this verse, Acharya Sri humbly prays that the pure form of the Supreme Soul, the embodiment of perfect knowledge, may forever reside in my heart. So beautifully written. Next one, we go on to the 17th, which is यो व्यापको विश्वजननी वृत्तिः सिद्धो विबुद्धो धुतकर्मबन्धः ध्यातो दुनीतो सकलं विकारं सदैव देवो हृदये ममास्ताम्. Here what is Acharya Sri saying? While describing the qualities of Supreme Soul, Acharya Sri says that the Lord is Triloka Vyapi, present throughout the three worlds through his infinite knowledge in every state and condition. The Lord pervades all existence through omniscience. Even after attaining the Siddha state, the liberated soul remains eternally established at the summit of the universe. Since their knowledge extends throughout all realms and substances, they are said to be all-pervading through knowledge. The Supreme Soul has become completely fulfilled and liberated from the bondage of birth, death, and karma accumulated over infinite lifetimes. Established in the pure nature of the soul within Siddhaloka, they manifest infinite knowledge infinite perception, infinite bliss, and infinite energy. Because they possess infinite knowledge, they know all things directly and perfectly. They have attained the highest spiritual state in the universe. So it says that even though with his body he is just one, but he is everywhere with his knowledge. And that's what this stanza is trying to say. Then we move on to the number 18, which is Na sprusyate karma kalanka doseira yo dvanta singeriva tikmarashmihi niranjanam nityamanekam tam devamaptam saranam prapadye. So after like from 12 to 17 Gatha, while asking the Lord to realize in Acharyaji's heart, he has said it from the Vyavhar point of view. But now from 18th stanza, he is saying that, but that has taken him to Nishchay. So, as I said in the beginning, 12 to 17 is from Vyavhar point of view, but now he is talking from the Nishchay point of view, and that is why he is asking for Lord's Sharan, and he has realized the form of Paramatma. Now, after praying and saying, thinking about so much about Lord, he has realized what Lord he is like, and he has started to feel within himself, yeah, and that is why he is asking for Lord's Sharan, that now, just as he said in the third stanza, that stay in my heart like a nail in the wall. Here he has felt it, and he is saying that give me your Sharan all the time. So next four stanzas are about asking for Lord's Sharan. Therefore now he only wants his refuge, and thus he has felt Paramatma, and that is why he talks about Paramatma is, and now he is saying he has felt it in, and by his accepting his Sharan, he is saying Paramatma is Nishkalank and shines like the sun, and Niranjan, which is Ranjan, without Ranja, yeah, so Niranjan and Nitya and Sashvat. Also, he has Ananta Samyak Darshan, Gyan and Charitra. From Atma point of view, he is one. But from soul's Ananta Gun, he is Anek. As we saw in the previous stanza, that his knowledge is everywhere. From the soul's Ananta Gun is he is Anek. Now, here the best seeker takes refuge in the Supreme Being through supreme humility. He who wants to attain power through meditation and contemplation must approach those great men who have achieved the complete perfection of the institution of through the unity of right words, vision, right knowledge, and right character, because there is a principle that only those who possess something that they can give it to us. So here again, we probably sometimes we see some guru, and if we see those really good virtues, this is how we have to accept that Sharan, because we are still in Vyavhar. But at least while we do that Samayik for 48 minutes, we should visualize, we should try and visualize with all these virtues that are being described here, and ask Lord for his Sharan. So as I said, 18 to 22, while talking about the Lord's attributes, Acharyaji has realized that only his Sharan is right for him. Now, I don't know if we have reached that, some of you may, but some of you may not have. We are still in Vyavhar. At least try and ask for the Sharan of your Guru, who has a lot more qualities than what we have. So, and obviously, Acharyaji is is realized that he has reached there, and so that is why he is asking for the Lord Sharan, and he doesn't want anybody else's Sharan for him to take further on his spiritual journey, which is so beautiful. And then now he is going on to the next one. So, which is number 19. Vibhasate yatra marichimali nyavidyamane bhuvanabhasi swatmasthetam bodhamaya prakasam tam devamaptam sharanam prapadye. Now, just before I go any further, I would like to devamaptam. So our dev is apta. What is apta? Apt is those who only talks what is right and who only can be realized with pure knowledge. Those who are with pure knowledge and who only talks about the right knowledge are the Apta Prabhu. That is why every time he is saying Deva Devamaptam, Tam Deva Devamaptam. So you are that Dev who is Apta, and that Sharan Prapadye, that is the Sharan that I want. So here, those 12 attributes of in this stanza, the 12 attributes of Arhan Bhagwan, Tirthankar have in total 12 unique characteristics. Everybody knows about it. Of those, 4 are the main attributes known as Atishay. The other 8 attributes are endowed by heavenly gods and are known as Pratiharyas. So the Atishay, the 4 which are Atishay, only Tirthankar, only our Arhant Prabhu holds them. That is why they are called Atishay. So 4 Atishays are omniscience, delivers an extraordinary sermon, worshipped by the mundane souls of the whole universe, and the 4th one is no calamities of disease exist in his vicinity. As you said, how great they are. With these 4, they are known as Arhant Bhagwan. Now, some Jain believe the 4 Ananta Chatushtay, which is infinite knowledge, infinite perception, infinite energy, and perfect conduct, instead of 4 Atishay. So either you can think them as those 4 that I first said, or 4 of this one. But and then 8 other attributes are all like all the Pratiharyas, which are endowed by heavenly gods. So and the 34 Atishay, that is again somewhere it's called 34 Atishay of our Arhan Bhagwan, which is Gnanatishay and Vachanatishay of God are described. And so this is talking totally about our Arhant Bhagwan, how he is and what does he have. Okay, so also is omniscience and benevolent teaching he gives, also free from attachment and aversion, beneficial and measured and pleasing. And that is how our Lord is. That is what it is talking about here. And that is why he wants his Sharan. Now, the next one is Vilokyamane sati yatra vishvam vilokyate spastamidam viviktam suddham shivam santam madhyantanam tam devamaptam sharanam prapadye. So here he is talking about he meditates on the Lord's Keval Gyan, which is perfect knowledge. His knowledge knows every paryay of every tattva, and he knows each tattva individually, and that is why Acharya Sri is praying on his perfect knowledge. The Lord perceives the entire universe clearly and distinctly and is eternal, peaceful, and beginless. To realize our own true nature, we must first understand the nature of the Arhat and Siddha, for the soul possesses the same infinite potential. So we understand what is possessed and then we ask for his Sharan. Just as the fire exists in wood and ghee, in milk, infinite knowledge and perception reside within every soul, though presently covered by karma. Though right effort and self realization, the veil of ignorance is removed, just as darkness disappears when the sun rises. Those who awaken to their true self become saints and take refuge in the Lord, aspiring to attain the same state of perfection. Okay, so this is the stanza, that's what it's saying. Then we move on to number 21. Again, he's asking for the same Sharan, which is Ye Nakshata Manmatha Manamurcha Vishada Nidra Bayashoka Chinta Kshapyo Nale Neva Taru Prapanchasa Tam Devamaptam Sharanam Prapadye. So here he's saying, Acharya ji is saying, I take shelter of Apta Deva, who has destroyed Kam, which is Kam, the concept of pleasure, enjoyment, and desire. Ego, which is ego, stupor, which is murcha, sadness, which is vishada, dukkha, sleeper, that is nindra, fear, bhai, grief, shok, and worries, that is chinta, just as the fire burns the entire forest. So as you can see how beautifully is comparing everything, that how the fire burns all this. This is what our Aptadev, our Tirthankar Bhagwan has destroyed all this, our bad things that we have within us. That Vitrag Darshan consists of 18 dosh. We have 18 those in us, such as fear, anger, kshup, trishna, mad, infatuation, short-lived passion, worry, birth, disease, sleep, grief, regret. Even all these 18 dosas are the reason of why God is called Apta, because he has none of them this in him. These faults are just in us. Okay, so just as the fire completely burns and destroys the trees, the Lord, through his unparalleled spiritual effort, has eradicated all inner defects, such as all the 18s that I described, and in their place he has fully manifested infinite knowledge, bliss, happiness, and spiritual energy. Such a Lord is the embodiment of pure consciousness, knowledge, and bliss. I take refuge of this Supreme Lord. That is what Acharya Sri is talking about. Then we move on to the next one, which is number 22. Na sanstaro संस्तरोष्मा न तृणं न मेदिनी विधानतो नो फलको विनिर्मितः यतो निरस्तता क्षकषाय विद्विषः सुधीभिरात्मैव सुनिर्मलो मतः. So now, as our Acharya Ji has accepted our Lord's Sharan, he is thinking about how the Samayik has to be performed. As you and me, we always say, so he's talking about the Nischay Sharan now in number 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. So from Vyavahar, he is having faith, showing faith that what I am hearing, reading is true. And Nischay is actually experiencing, the soul has felt that blissful joy. As I'm just trying to explain you the difference between Vyavahar and Nischay. And now Acharya Ji has come to that Nischay point. So sadhus have to be in equanimity all the time, whether they have a comfortable apashra or not, whether they have a comfortable residence or not. The external seeds are very much secondary. Now, as we are in Vyavahar, we always use Pathenu for our Samayik. But in those times, this Acharya Ji has reached such a high level. And also in today's day and age, there are some who do not need to even use the Pathenu. So it is for them, and they used to actually do the Samayik on grass, stone, wood, etc. That type of seeds. But for him, that also has become secondary now. The real goal is to develop that ability to sit in steadily in one posture for a prolonged period of time. Choose any posture that helps keep the body comfortable and the mind stable. The true seat of meditation. Listen, the true seat of meditation is the pure self, free from possessions and impurities. As passions decrease, stability in the three jewels increases. So what you and me need to do, we are still in Vyavahar, we still need our Pathenu. Don't get me wrong, but this Acharya Ji, this stanza shows how high state that our Acharya Ji has received, and he does not need anything. From his experience, he's just asking that just be our pure soul and just connect our pure soul with our Tirthankar Bhagwan. So all this is secondary. Where I do Samayik, what I do, and what I sit on. Yeah, that is what he's saying. But please don't get me wrong. We are still in Vyavahar. We still must keep our Pathenu and everything as per our Samnijis are making us do Samayik. Thank you. Now, our spiritual effort, why should we be doing this? Because our spiritual effort strengthens our self-awareness, detachment, right understanding, knowledge, concentration. As the soul becomes purer, impure thoughts gradually will subside. The seeker progresses from auspicious thoughts to pure thoughts of to pure state of consciousness. So with the manifestation of the soul's true nature, one experiences inner bliss beyond the senses than wherever you are. And such spiritual attainment makes human life truly successful. So even though we take our Pathenu, everything, but what our aim should be, that we reach this stage. Yes. So this is what this stanza is talking about. And then we move on to the number 23. Na sanstaro badra samadhi sadhanam na loka puja na cha sangha melanam yatastato dhyatmarato bhavanisham vimuchya sarvamapi bahya vasanama. This is another beautiful example. He is saying that when we decorate our house beautifully, but if we are not in the house, when the guests come, what good is that? So from that example, there's another example, like one monkey was asked to look after the king, and when the insect sat on king's nose, he killed the he killed that insect by cutting his nose. What's so good? So in the same way, Samayik is the pure state of soul. Our soul has to be there in the Samayik. It is true, means lies within It does not depend on any external object, a seat, honor, public praise, or association with others are not the real supporters of Samayik. The true Samayik is attained by withdrawing attention from all external objects and turning it inward toward the self. So many times we get together to do Samayik and all that. Yes, it is good because we are in Vyavahar at the moment, as I again say that. But the true Samayik does not need all that. We can do it ourselves. So thoughts arise from attachment and external objects, are distractions, and are therefore external in nature. A seeker should abandon such thoughts and become absorbed in the nirvikalpa, that is state of the self, which is thoughtless. The essence of Samayik is inner absorption, self-awareness, and steadfastness, and one's true nature. So from this stanza, what Acharya ji is saying, that he is in that pure state now. He does not need the Sangh Milan or with other people to concentrate on his soul. This is what he's trying to say. And he's talking about all this because our aim should be to reach that state. And that is why this is a beautiful the part that talks a lot about Samayik. Now, the next one is Nasanti Bahya. न सन्ति बाह्याः मम केचनार्था भवामि तेषां न कदाचनाहम् इत्थं विनिश्चित्य विमुच्य बाह्यं स्वस्थः सदा त्वं भवभद्र मुक्तये. Here what Acharya ji is saying, try and separate yourself from even anger and all the things that are in sansar, which is keeping us in sansar. Have you seen any one time the safe says that anything that we have kept in a safe is the safe's? No, it doesn't. The thing is there in the safe, but it never says that it belongs to the safe. Even when someone is angry at you, think that that anger is not of that person. Yeah, it is separate from that person. So when we and you think like that, all the karmic pudgal are just going to play their role and will get separated. Now, is it the anger with me or with that other person? Now, when we decide I don't need to get involved with it, and in the same way, it will work if any other person gets angry. And this is the way to go. So cultivating equanimity is Samayik, and this is Samta, and these are the key points that Acharya ji is inspiring us to make sincere effort to attain equanimity. He is already sincerely practicing this. That's why he can suggest us. So equanimity is the soul's natural and original state. To attain it, one must become selfless and reduce attachment to sense objects and worldly possessions. So detachment is essential. Without it, the true spiritual understanding is difficult to attain. Yes? And reflect on the nature of worldly objects and realize that they cannot provide last long happiness. Renounce delusion, attachment, and selfness towards the worldly praises. So through right understanding of reality, one learns the distinction between self and non-self. So Sajiv and Ajiv, consciousness and matter. And this inner awareness leads to self-observation and increasing inwardness. So the seeker becomes a mere knower and observer, that is Gyata Drashta Bhav, which is so important for all of us who are in Sansar. I know we can't reach to that stage as yet, but to go towards that stage, This is very, very important to observe Gyata Drashta Bhav. Just keep watching what is happening in front of you, that is going to happen. There's nothing you and me can do, but try not to get involved with it. Our human nature is such, anything that happens in front of us, we try to get attached with it. We try to sort of start assumptions and all that. So if first of all, if we develop this Gyata Drashta Bhav, that is the way towards moksha. Yeah, that is the way toward achieving the real, to know the real soul. So although worldly objects are known, no attachment arises because their true nature is understood, and the attachment to the world weakens. Inwardness, stability, and equanimity continue to grow. Ultimately, the seeker becomes absorbed in self-contemplation, realizes the true self, and experiences the inner fulfillment. The next one is talking about, which is Atmanamatma Tmanya Valokaya मानस त्वमदर्शन ज्ञानमयो विशुद्धः एकाग्रचित्तः खलु यत्र तत्र स्थितोऽपि साधुर्लभते समाधिम्. So here what we are talking about, the true nature of the soul is consciousness, knowledge, and perception. The soul can be seen and experienced only through the soul itself. Such direct experience of the self is attained by monks and sages in deep meditation and samadhi. So true happiness is not found in external objects, but within one's own soul. To attain supreme bliss, one should behold the soul through the soul itself. The seeker should cultivate steadfastness and one-pointed concentration in the self. Through the self-contemplation and abiding in one's true nature, samadhi and inner peace arises, and as one becomes absorbed in the self, attachment and aversion gradually disappear, and the soul's pure nature shines forth. Thus, in this Gatha, the way in which one should strive to attain the self knowledge and that awareness through the study of Samayik is explained so very well. Such a study is primarily for sages, but secondarily it is also applicable to the truly wise great souls and supremely enlightened. And as I said, whatever we can follow, it will take us to that path. And so this is when bhakti and Bhagwan merges into one. As you can see from what is said, that he is nearly there. Everything becomes one for him. You can see that Acharya Ji firstly asking the Lord to reside in his heart, and then he is feeling the attributes of him to Lord's attributes to himself, and that is why he accepts the Lord's refuge. Initially, all this Gatha, as we talked about it, but that has taken him to Nischay, and that is why he is asking the Lord's Sharan, and he has realized the form of Paramatma. So he has reached that stage now, and he's just describing how it feels. So, and then the next one we talk about is एकः सदा शाश्वतीको ममात्मा विनिर्मलः साधिगमस्वभावः बहिर्भवाः सन्त्यपरे समस्ता न शाश्वताः कर्मभवाः स्वकीयाः. What does it mean? So it says contemplation on the true nature of the soul. Again, Acharya Ji is on and on about it because he has himself he is nearly there. He has realized his Atma. So here the subject is meditation. The seeker strives to become absorbed in self-meditation and contemplates the true nature of the soul. Acharya Sri inspires the aspirant to engage in such sublime meditation. The soul is unattached. By cultivating the contemplation of oneness with the self, the notions of I am the doer and I am the enjoyer gradually dissolves and leading to the attainment of meditation. The soul is eternal, nitya. I am eternal, just as water may transform into stream or ice, yet never ceases to exist. The soul too remains everlasting and indestructible through all changes. The soul is inherently pure, as we all know, just as cleanliness remains hidden within a dirty cloth and a butter or cream remains concealed within milk. The soul's pure nature remains present even when obscured by karmic impurities. Through right contemplation, the meditation, this innate purity is revealed. Right understanding, and how does that happen? We need to understand the law of karma, and then only we can realize this. So all external circumstances that come into our life, whether favorable or unfavorable, honor or insult, pleasure or pain, arise according to the fruition of our past karmas. An advanced seeker understands this truth and does not react with attachment and desirable or aversion to the undesirable. Instead, he maintains equanimity in all situations. So this is what he is asking us to do. So, and as a result, the force of these impure modifications gradually weakens and inner stability increases. Through this process, karmas are shed and the soul becomes progressively purified and its natural quality begins to manifest. Ultimately, the purified soul attains the supreme state of liberation and everlasting bliss. So he is just asking us that to concentrate on the soul. Then we go on to the next one, which is Yasyasti Naikyam Vipusha Pi Sardha Tashyasti Kim Putra Kalatra Mitrai Pruthak Krute Charmani Romakupaha Kutohi Tistanti Sarira Madhye. It's a beautiful stanza. It says, now 27 to 32 talks about how important it is to concentrate and meditate on pure soul. Yes, so when you meditate, basically, it's this stanza is saying that my body is not mine; it will be burned after death. How can those relations be mine with even that body when even that body goes when I die? So it is talking about that one of our bhavana, which is anitya bhavana, the impermanence of everything, that is contemplation on the fact that everything in this world, including relations, is transient and momentary. So here it's what he's trying to say is beautiful example he has given, that resilience of the soul distinct nature for self meditation, how we can develop to attain stability in samayik and become absorbed in self meditation. It is essential to firmly realize that the soul is distinct from the body. All worldly objects and relations, such as spouse, children, and friends, Acharya Sri explains this profound principle in this verse. When a seeker sits in meditation and engages in deep contemplation, he reflects, who am I? what is my true nature and what is not my true nature. Through sincere and honest self-inquiry, he gradually discovers the real I, the pure soul, separate from the body, name, possession, and worldly association. So here Acharyaji is saying that when we do the Samayik, we can at least do this, that keep contemplating, keep thinking, who am I? What is my true nature? Which will take us further on this path. And all this understanding deepens a state of equanimity in us and begins to manifest. The seeker recognizes himself distinct from the body and the external objects. Now, in this way, through the clear discrimination between the self and the non-self, the seeker experiences the awakening of Samyak Darshan, which is the first stage of the most essential step of the path to the liberation, and which is also here he has given a very good example by just saying that if our the pores on our skin are there because the skin is there, but when the skin is taken off, how are those pores going to last? In the same way, no foundation if left, if my body is not going to stay here, then what those relations are, what is the point of those relations, who is like son, wife, brother, sister, all that. So these relations are only to do with this body that I say, for example, me, Hina. But once this is gone, no relation, nothing. So the example is given very nicely. When the skin of the body is taken off, the pores on the body are automatically gone. In the same way, the relations are going to go. So what's the point? Having that attachment and aversion to all those relations that we have, and which is keeping us in this sansar. Number 28, he talks about Sanyogato dukmaneka bedam yatosnute janmavane shariri tatastrita sau parivarjaniyo yasana nivrutti matmani nama. So here in this verse, Acharya Shri explains how the practice of Dharma Dhyan, how do we do Dharma Dhyan? Contemplation, righteous contemplation, it leads to the attainment of samta. Through deep reflection on the true nature of the soul and the transient nature of the worldly objects, the seeker gradually weakens attachment and aversion. In the first stanza, he talked about it, how this happens, and now he's asking us that how to weaken them. Whenever attachment arises toward any worldly object, the conscious soul remains trapped in the endless cycle of birth and death. Attachment binds the soul to worldly existence and prevents it from experiencing its own true nature. Therefore, a seeker who longs for liberation must gradually renounce the identification with the restless activities and infatuations of body, speech, and mind. So first of all, we need to really control all our activities as we are into this sansar. I know it is very difficult, but at least we can control. We can control wherever it is not necessary. If we can do that, that will take us to the path of liberation. And so by withdrawing from these waves of worldly involvement and remaining established in the self, one follows the true path of spiritual freedom. The abandonment of attachment and cultivation of inner detachment are the means by which the soul transcends worldly bondage and progresses towards the lasting peace and liberation. That is what Acharya Ji is giving us the message. Next one is talking about So we are on to number 29. Sarva Nirakruta, Sarva Nirakrutya Vikalpachalam Sansara Kantara Nipata Hetum Viviktamatmanama Vaishyamano Niliyase Tvam Paramatma Tattve. Here it's beautiful. Attaining equanimity by breaking the nest of desires. Here is talking about how to give up the attachment and aversion. So in this verse, Acharya Sri compassionately explains how a seeker can attain samta, equanimity. He teaches that the net of desires and cravings drags the soul into the vast of ocean of worldly existence, leading to suffering and lower states of existence. Therefore, O seeker, with the strength, he's saying, therefore, O seeker, with the strength of self-restraint, one must break free from the net of desires. So Acharya Sri further reminds us that the soul is completely distinct from all external objects, relationships, and material possessions. Realizing this profound distinction between the self and the non self is the foundation of spiritual awakening. When a seeker withdraws attachment from worldly objects and becomes absorbed in the contemplation of the pure self, equanimity naturally arises. By remaining immersed in the awareness of the soul and living with established in this understanding, one gradually transcends the attachment and aversion and experiences inner peace. Thus, Acharya Sri graciously teaches that freedom from desire, self-restraint, and constant awareness of the soul's separate nature are the essential means for attaining true equanimity. Even if the same thing has been taught in Bhagavad Gita, which is in the Bhagavad Gita, Adhyay number 2, the stanzas are 62, 63, which says that by the contemplation of the sense objects, desire for them arises. Desire leads to anger. When frustrated, anger leads to delusion. Delusion causes loss of memory. Loss of memory destroys discrimination. And by the loss of discrimination, man perishes. One should therefore leave the illusion and worldly attachments and aversions and dive deep into the passionless ocean of our supreme being, as most of the Shastras talks about the same stanza what's being talked about Acharya Sri here. Then we move on to number 30. Which says Swayam krute karma yadatmana pura phalam tadiyam labate subhasubham parena dattam yadi labhyate sfutam swayam krutam karma nirarthakam tada. So here what Acharya Ji is saying, the infallible law of karma. So he says, "O Lord, this soul has performed countless good and bad actions throughout its infinite past births. So when those karmas come into fruition, there is no escape from experiencing their results. Every karma inevitably bears its corresponding fruit, and no one can avoid the consequences of their own actions. So if I could experience the results of another person's actions, my own karma would become meaningless and the law of karma would lose its validity. However, this never happens. Each soul is the owner of its own karma, must inevitably experience the result of each action that they perform. So understanding this truth helps the seeker abandon blame, which happens in most of the cases. Anything happens to me, I will start looking at outside situation. I'll start blaming the situation, blaming the person. So here Acharya Ji is saying, understanding this truth helps the seeker abandon blame, complaint, and dependence on others. Instead, one accepts all favorable and unfavorable circumstances with equanimity. Is my past karma. If we just accept that, then recognizing them as the consequences of one's own past karma, such right understanding strengthens the inner peace and leads the soul towards the self-realization and liberation. So any situation comes, it is my own past karma. If we start accepting that, and then it at least stops us binding new karmas, which is so beautifully written by Acharya Sri. The means of knowledge, darshan, samadhi, dispassion, devotion, etc. are direct, by the power of which the bonds of karma are loosened, relieved, and reduced. Therefore, those means of knowledge, darshan, sanyam, etc., are the means of liberation. So instead of blaming the situation or person, what we need to do is we need to let go, just accept that is my past karma. If we want to go further on this path, then we go on to the number 31, which is Nijarjitam karma vihaya dehino na kopi kashyapi dadati kinchana vicharayan vicharayanneva mananya manasaha paro dadati vimuncha se mushisham. So here Acharyaji is saying that he's teaching us, that he teaches that apart from the karmas one has earned oneself, no being can truly give or take anything from another. Whatever happiness, sorrow, gain, loss, honor, or dishonor we experience comes according to the fruition of our own karmas. Therefore, O soul, abandon the delusion that others are the cause of your pleasure and pain. Give up the mistaken belief that someone else bestows happiness or creates suffering. Such thinking is born of ignorance and leads to attachment and aversion and bondage. By understanding that every experience arises from one's own karmic causes, the seeker becomes free from blame, expectations, and dependency on others. With this right understanding, remains steady, focused, and one-pointed in the contemplation of the self. Thus, Acharya Sri inspires the seeker to abandon all confusion regarding external causes and to become firmly established in the truth that the soul alone is the experiencer of the fruits of its own karma. And this understanding gives rise to equanimity, inner peace, and spiritual progress. This is the message from this stanza. And now we move on to our and he like so, we are just sometimes, if anything happens, we just start blaming. So he says, first of all, get rid of that feeling. Now we move on to the last stanza, which is says, Yehi Paramatma Mita Gati Vandyah Sarva Vivikto Brushammana Vadyah Saswadhito Manasi Labante Mukti Niketanam Vibhava Varam Te. Here now, as who is he talks about, like, who is praised by Amit Gatiji. So here indirectly he is using his name, but what it means, Amit Gati, also means that who is rich in immense knowledge. So the word Amit Gati is used, but it's used in two different ways. His own name, but he who is rich in immense knowledge, such a Paramatma revered by many disciples. So that Paramatma has already been revered by our Acharya. So free from all kinds of karma, he constantly meditates on the Supreme God in his mind. He attains Moksha Rupi, the Supreme Lakshmi. That is what this stanza is talking about, that constant contemplation of the pure Lord leads to liberation. Acharya Sri explains that one who constantly contemplates the Supreme Soul, who is endowed with infinite knowledge, free from karma, absolutely flawless and worthy of reverence, even by great masters. As I said, it can be, as it has two meaning, so it can even by great masters or such as Acharya Amit Gatiji. That's how we can take it. Progresses steadily on the path of spiritual elevation. By keeping such a pure and liberated load in one's thoughts, the mind gradually becomes purified, attachment and aversion diminishes, and the soul turns inward toward its own true nature. The seeker develops the same qualities that he continuously contemplates. Therefore, one who remains absorbed in the remembrance and contemplation of the passionless, omniscient, and liberated Paramatma ultimately attains the magnificent peace of the liberation, the supreme state of eternal bliss, purity, and freedom from all bondages. Through such noble contemplation, the soul reaches its highest spiritual glory. So Acharya Sri has immense knowledge and he is free from karma. There is no flaw in his knowledge. And that is what this stanza is about. Lord is in our heart and mind. Just have to look within. Siddhasila is not the place for mukti, but it is only in your mind. So, however way it is, and now we go on to the although the whole part is consisted of only 32 stanzas, the last stanza has been done by somebody else, which is called Chulika, and that Chulika is iti tra त्रिंशत् वृत्तेः परमात्मनमीक्षते योनन्त गत चेतस्को chatyasi padam vyayam. So what it means, thus whoever with a concentrated mind visualizes and experiences Param Atma with 32 slokas achieves the imperishable state of moksha. So here is like Chulika, as we also have it in Nokar Mantra. The last four statements are what Nokar Mantra does to us. In the same way, here is said that these 32 slokas, what it will do to us. At least it will bring that steadiness within us during that 48 minutes of Samayik. So here I have try to explain whatever I have understood with my very little knowledge. I hope that you have gained something from here. I just want to ask from all of you, Michami Dukram, if I have said anything against anyone or anything against Jin Atma Virud, if I have said anything against Jinvani, please Michami Dukkaram. Now I'm ready to have any questions. If any of you have one, that I will try my best to answer.